So our main bugs have been squashed, but there's still quite a big issue left to deal with. The big issue is that every time we type something into our text box, we fire off a request to the API. And unfortunately for us, GitHub have a limit restriction in place as to how many requests you can make in a given time period. This is called throttling, and it's designed to prevent users from making too many API requests and putting GitHub servers under stress. Now, we can't do too much about the fact that GitHub throttles their API, but what we can do is present a nicer and friendlier error message to our users when this happens. So in our fetch GitHub information function, after we check for status of 404, we're now going to put an else if clause and check for the status of 403. 403 means forbidden, and this is the status code that GitHub return when our access is denied. So in here we're going to create a new variable called reset time and set that to be a new date object. The date that we want to retrieve is actually stored inside our error response, inside the headers. And the particular header that we want to target is the x-rate-limit-reset header. This is a header that's provided by GitHub to helpfully let us know when our quota will be reset and when we can start using the API again. This is presented to us as a Unix timestamp, so to get it into a format we can read, we need to multiply it by 1,000 and then turn it into a date object. And this will give us a valid, readable date in our reset time variable. Then all we need to do is take that, our reset time variable, and display it to our user. So we'll use jQuery to target our GH user data element. And then we'll set the HTML content of this element to our friendly error message. We're going to use a h_for, and we're going to tell the user that they've made too many requests, and then give them the time when they can try again. So we'll say, please wait until, and then we can pass in our reset time variable. So again, using the $, the curly brace, reset time. And we're going to use the toLocalDateString method on this reset time date object that we've created. And what this will do is pick up your location from your browser and print the local time. And then we'll just close our h_for. Okay, so let's run that, see what we get. Okay, I seem to be getting the same issue. Let me just check the console here. Okay, there must be something wrong with my if statement. Yes, you've probably noticed this already, that I forgot to put .status on here. So if error response .status is equal to 403, okay, we'll try again. Very good. And there we have our friendlier error message. It's there for our users to read, and it tells them a time when they'll be able to use the service again. So in this section, we've connected to GitHub's API, we've retrieved user data, we've used a different endpoint to get the repository data, and we've iterated through that to display it nicely on the screen. We're nearly at the end of our section on using APIs to make our resume site more interactive. The one last thing that we want to do is connect to an email API so that our contact form actually works when somebody fills in information. We're going to do that in our next section.